All right, so in Unplugged, Jet is the character that we're following at the moment, and Jet has found himself at the oasis of mind and body wellness, and he finds out that he needs to surrender his phone.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind doing that.
He's trying to save your life, Jet, and so am I. And he plucks my phone out of my pocket and hands it to Miss Meditation. I fold my arms across my chest. I'm not staying. In answer, he reaches into my bag and pulls out my F-pad and my laptop and surrenders those two. Why is it called an F-pad? Because it's made by Fuego, which is the company, kind of like Apple. So it's they call it the F-pad, kind of like an iPad. Okay. Then he takes the smartwatch right off my wrist and tosses it across the counter. You're fired, I snarl. He's patient. Remember Liam Reardon? A kid in my school. His dad owns half of Google. What about him? He was a zombie. He never looked away from his screen long enough to make eye contact with a real human. He was hostile, antisocial. He's gone through every therapist in the Bay Area and half of the ones in LA. Then his parents sent him here. Miss Meditation nods. Liam, wonderful boy. The oasis made such a difference for him, as it will for you. The silver eyes bore into me at high intensity until I had to study my sneakers to avoid the onslaught. The coming weeks will be a turning point of your spiritual life. I don't have a spiritual life, I reply stubbornly. Some crazy lady stole it along with my phone. If Ivory was offended by that, she doesn't let on. Hostility is a byproduct of a mind out of balance, she says understandingly. At least I have a mind, I mumble under my breath. Don't be rude. Matt puts an arm around my shoulders in an attempt to calm me down. Take it easy, kid. You're not in California anymore. I shrug him off violently. Yeah, really? What tipped you off? The swamp gas? The possum BO? The fact that we haven't seen an In-N-Out burger for 200 miles? You must be starving, Ivory says smoothly. I've got some good news for you there. Early dinner is being served right now. You have to try our burgers. They're world-renowned. I struggle to get my whirling mind under control. If this were San Francisco, I'd tell everybody to stick it and Uber home. But I don't know if Uber comes way out to the sticks, and even if they do, I no longer have a phone to call them on. It goes without saying that I'm not spending the next 6 weeks of my life in this freak show wellness camp. But for right now, I accept the fact that I'm stuck. There is Uber around here, yes. The Range Rover belongs to the Oasis, not me, so there's no way back to Little Rock and the Gulf Stream if Miss Meditation doesn't approve. For all I know, the plane isn't there anymore. Vlad probably had them fly it back to California so he can go all over the place. I can tell you where he won't go, that's for sure, to a wellness oasis. First thing tomorrow, I'm out of here, and even if I have to walk. But right now, if I don't get some food, I'm going to faceplant in the pine needles. I might as well check out these famous burgers Ivory's hyping. She points through the double doors. The dining hall is the largest building at the center of the cluster of cottages. Leave your bags. I'll have them brought to your cottage. Bon appetit and be whole. Whole?
Doesn't sound that bad.
What now? Whole, she amends, emphasizing the WH sound. As in entire, your mind, body, and spirit. Be your whole self. Like I could be anybody else. The only hole I want is a place to crawl into until this nightmare is over. So Matt and I go to the dining hall. The sign over the entrance reads, Nourishment for the Body. There's another building close by with a Nourishment for the Soul sign. That must be where Ivory and her meditation hang out. I'm definitely history before anybody makes me go there. The dining hall is nicer than the school cafeteria, but it's basically a school cafeteria. They give you a tray, you pick out what you want, you go find a seat in one of the long communal tables. The private chefs from the good resort would probably drop dead if they had to work here. They won't let me take 2 burgers. The server explains, like she's talking to a 5-year-old, that if I'm still hungry after I finish the first one, I can come back for seconds. Oh, I'll be hungry enough, I assure her. I'm so hungry, I can barely focus on what a downer it is to be here. Because it's still early, there are only a few diners scattered around the big room. I wonder how long it took them to get to the top of the waiting list. No offense, but I have zero respect for anybody who comes here on purpose instead of being tricked into it by their dad. Matt waves me over to a spot by a big picture window. It has a view of the lake, which I can now see is a side pool of a long river. Pretty, isn't it? He offers. I don't answer. On an empty stomach, I can't muster enough sarcasm to come up with the vicious reply he deserves. I plop myself in the chair, grab my burger with both hands, take a gigantic bite, and spit it out so hard that it decorates the picture window. That's not a burger, I choke. Sure it is, Matt replies airily. It's a veggie burger. Oh, what? The oasis is 100% vegetarian, he informs me, like it's the most obvious thing in the world. I reach for my pocket, determined to call Vlad and demand to be taken out of this backwoods torture chamber or else. That's when I remember. My phone and all my electronics are locked away at the Welcome Center. All this wellness is going to kill me.
It's going.